let everybody in, you can.
So it's the whole state of Texas gets one little person. Oh, man.
Good morning.
That argument doesn't go very far either.
I'm happy to write it in. Judge gives it to me and I write it because then everybody needs it.
Are you sure? It's in alphabetical order, right? Not even close.
Caroline, do you have any pens that actually have ink? I have about 20 pens up here and they're all out of ink.
That's the theme of the best back there.
All right, let me see if I can.
All I have is red.
Oh, no, let me see what I can do here. Have great pens, but they run out of ink and you're like, I should recycle this, but they're so cute. Oh, thank you. The oldie but goodie. All right, everyone, just so you know, the front row is for people who came in late. So if you're late, remain on the front row. If you're not late, you need to move off the front row. All right, I'm going to call the docket. If you're here, let me know you're here. Otherwise, I'm going to assume you're not, and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Please stand up when I call your name. And if there are any jurors in here, you need to wait outside. All right, in custody, we have Jose Salondio, Adrian Arias, Luis Puente, Isaiah Sampson, Brandon Guzman. That's being recalled. Yeah. And I just need the date for that. Jonathan Garcia, Rudolph Montoya, thank you. Adrian Soto. Alberto Trevino. Sean Aaron Smith. Just find a seat. Richard Thomas. Thank you. Deshandra McAfee. Thank you. Jamie Cameron. Daniel Van Duzer. Migdalilia Salazar. Fidel Ayala. Aaron Sturm. Brendan Sierra. In custody is Isaiah Sampson, Jose Perez, Thomas Early, Matthew Salazar. In custody is Samuel Rodriguez, Justin Schermerhorn. In custody is Valerie Garza, Brianna Kelly, Christopher Givens. Thank you. Matthew Salazar. Donnell Ward is in custody. Billy Joe Hernandez, custody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jake Gomez is in custody. Mariah Rodriguez. Mariah Rodriguez. Jorge Terraza. Thank you. In custody is Arnisha Graham, Bryce Clark, Michael Enzana.
Gentleman present.
Thank you.
So it should only take a few minutes, yeah. I got here at 8:30, it's the one you asked me to come.
Yes.
Yes, just be real quick.
Okay.
Thank you.
Gloria, you just need to have the file pull. Gloria Orozca. Martin Martinez.
President, council, judge. You may be in the hallway, but I know he's not.
Roseanne Garcia. Roseanne Garcia. Fortunata Alvarez. And custody is Juan Garcia. Kayla Rolag. And custody is Hillary Stillman. Rogelio Sanchez. Thank you. Alex Martinez. Carlisa Johnson. Valerie Castillo. Someone turn your phone off. Valerie Castillo. Roger Gonzalez. Lisa Quintanilla. In custody is Karen Munoz, Edward Ugarte, Jesus Sendindo, Crystal Martinez.
She's good, sorry.
Where is she? That's okay. All right. Brianna Mitchell is in custody. Torrance Knows, Dwight Basson, and Celio Perez Rodriguez custody. Juan Garcia Sanchez. Christopher Black. James Harrison. Renee Espinoza. Jose Garcia. John Garza.
So we called yesterday.
Okay. Thank you. In custody is Justin Cotton, Daniel Ortiz. Thank you. Mario Tovar Hernandez. Mario Tovar Hernandez. Nathaniel Mackey is in custody. Justin Christie. Justin Christie.
I'm here on his behalf. Your Honor, I expected here as a recall from yesterday.
Okay. Benito Garcia is in custody. David Gomez, custody. Brian White. In custody, Jorge Ortiz, James Hasso, Roger Campos, Jonathan Bolden, Victor Mendoza, and Nathan Chavez. Is there anyone who came in late or your name was not called? All right, just 1 second. Wow, that's a crowd. We'll start over here. Yes. I'm sorry. All right, just have a seat.
Alexander, bring us Castillo.
All right, just have a seat.
Thomas earlier.
Okay. Yes. All right. What's his first name? Okay, thank you. And next row. Okay, thank you. Yes. Brittany Cruz. Yes, next. Tevin. All right, thank you. Just have a seat. All right, thank you. I'm sorry, could you repeat your last name? All right, thank you. I'm sorry, spell your last name? All right, just have a seat. We'll be with you. All right, everyone, these are the rules of the court. And I'm asking you to please follow these rules. It's Tuesday. We're going to start off as though no one has ever broken these rules before. So I'm depending on attorneys, and I know you all will follow the rules. There are boxes to your left. Those have the state's files. There are boxes over here for family violence. This is criminal trial division boxes, family violence boxes. Please, when you want to speak to the prosecutor, just pull your file, have a seat. They're going to call you in the order in which they get your file. So the first will be first, the last will not become first, the middle will not become first. The first person who gives them their file, that will be first. If you have a client who's in custody, request that they be brought out. Once you requested that they be brought out, please do not leave. As you can see, we have a lot of people who are in custody. And if you leave, that's going to cause a backup. So let's not do that. The other thing, when you want to approach the court, do not approach the court unless you have conferred with your client, talk to the state. If the state can give you an offer, get an offer from them, get that offer to your client, then you will be ready to approach the court. And what you do is you just come up to the clerk, tell the clerk your client's name. They will put the file here. I will call you in the order of appearance. And again, first will be first, middle will not be first, last will be not be first. Now, if everyone will look behind you, the courtroom is crowded. And in the 187 District Court, we've been trying to get the temperature taken care of. They're not doing anything about it. So it's going to probably get hot in here. The thermostat is there. If you think lowering that thermostat will change things, you have my permission to do so. I tell you, it will not. So today is Tuesday. We are closer to Friday than we were yesterday. So that's something to be happy about. Everyone put some patience in your pocket and let's be kind to each other. Everyone confer. And Mr. Scott, who do you have?
Yes, I have this reminder. And I think what I thought I ought to do is confer with the state first.
Okay.
See if you- and then file your.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Oh,
Sanchez. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't call them.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I don't know, did they give it to her and she called your name? Please.
What is this?
I mean, it's for, yeah. it's
Well,
for rentals.
This is my copy or what?
No, Judge said
Yeah, minor.
there's something wrong.
Oh, okay. And those
And this maybe you need an interpreter.
Yeah,
Are you guys ready?
right.
Did you You conferred with the state.
Yes.
Another day.
Yeah.
Well, but then I love this. And well, finally, it gets me some.
All right, everyone. Once you have turned in your file to the clerk, just have a seat. Mr. Leal.
Right.
Yeah.
This is something you wanted to talk to me about, Judge? on
Yes,
another
if
case?
you read the body of it, it's about a different case.
I'm sorry?
If you read the body of your motion, it's not pertaining to that case.
Oh,
Roger Anthony Gonzalez was supposed to
Do
be
you want me to mark it?
on today. I don't know if it was on the document.
Yeah.
Okay, I just needed to talk to the judge because I have not been able to find him. Thank you very much.
I propose to Judge Richard comments. Thank you.
No.
Good morning. Rudolph Montoya, 2019 CR 99. Thanks, man. Are you saying that these hours do not represent these hours? Or?
No, pass me the motion. I'll tell you what's wrong with it. Okay. So when you do this, it has to state where it's readable, like what they actually did, just in general, not specific.
Well, I think he attached something to the back. That one.
For Daniel,
Bless you.
Daniel Ortiz, and I just need like a couple of minutes with you.
Okay, you are we?
Yeah, we did yesterday, but my client's not here today.
Okay.
Ortiz.
Yeah, it's gonna be all.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
So it's, and no, you have to refile it.
So can I just say Bear County?
No, because that's already been file stamped. So you have to refile it.
But normal, like,
And it needs to say Bear County instead of Hayes County. Because that's saying it's going to be paid out of the general funds of Hayes County,
And I just cross out Bear and
No.
then,
because that's been file
and
stamped.
then file it amended and just say amended.
Yes, I mean, you can,
Yeah.
however you want to do it. Well, no. That needs to be corrected.
Yeah, I'm correcting it.
No. That has been file stamped. I'm not going to sign something that has all of those.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Mr. Leal.
And I have a, oh,
All right. Who's here on Carlisa Johnson? All right, Miss Johnson, come forward.
Your Honor, I'll check in the hallway.
All right, thank you. As soon as she comes in, let the court know. Who's here on Jorge Ortiz?
I am, Your Honor. It's just a reset.
Where's your client?
Okay. They're in custody and they didn't bring him over. Whoops. And yesterday, the DA agreed to a 2-week reset. They're gonna dismiss it, starting his case. And all I'm here for today is come back today, just get a reset.
All right, so you're saying that, who's the prosecutor confirmed with?
I confirmed with him.
Well, tell her
It's all his
that's
fault.
where she's at. You guys can understand.
All right, he says on Mr. Ortiz that this case is going to be taken care of.
I think you may have preferred with someone else.
They're gonna contact the complaining witness and they needed 2 weeks in order to do that and check about his facts and case.
Okay.
This.
All right, state on this case, then I'm going to recall this for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Is that enough time for you to speak with the complainant?
I think so.
Okay.
So it's okay.
All right, so we will be back. I'm going to give you a little less than 2 weeks. We'll be back on November 7th.
Okay.
Okay. All right, you're excused.
Thanks,
So you
Jeff.
said your client's in custody, correct?
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you. Always good seeing you.
The 7th.
Yes. I'm sorry, who? Yes. I think he's coming back. He's going to go work on a motion or something. Do we need him back?
Well, yeah, because I called the interpreter.
Hi.
for them.
All right, can you call Raphael Leo?
I don't.
Is there, excuse me, attorneys? The court is requesting your help. Does anyone have Raphael Leo's number? If you possibly have it, could you text him and let him know the interpreter is here for him? Thank you. Teamwork. Yes, yes.
The CSO from yesterday should be on your Zoom. See if she's in the meeting room.
Yes, she's there.
Okay.
All right, who's here on Thomas Early?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thomas Early, come forward. Hello,
Good morning.
good morning.
We're just making an announcement. We have conferred. We're on your trial docket. There were subpoenas that I issued, asked to be issued back in September. And the sheriff's office didn't do any of them. So I had to have them personally served, like by private process server. We don't have all of them served yet. So I don't know. I mean, while I'm ready, I think that there's a problem with some of the subpoenas.
So
I
how
don't-
many persons haven't been subpoenaed that you know of?
I
Or is it a
only
lot?
I only have a lot. So there was not, I think there's like 9. I think we only got 1 back so far. And that's because I had to go, I can't believe they had them for over a month and I can't figure out why no one did anything on the service.
So have they given you like a deadline to that?
Well, it's trial.
Yes.
Normally
No, but I mean,
Normally I have to have them in 2 weeks beforehand, but I was beat that deadline. I was so good that I had even forgotten that I had asked for subpoenas when I came and talked to your staff, but.
okay, so what we'll do is, if everyone could please whisper, what we'll do is we'll reset the case
Okay.
for jury trial. All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date on Thomas Early.
I'm sorry,
I need a jury trial date on Thomas Early.
December 5th.
All right, so we'll be back on December 5th. And thanks for dressing appropriately for court.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Okay, and that'll be impact court. Just get your reset form.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome. Who's here on Roger Gonzalez? And where's Mr. Gonzalez?
This is the matter, Judge. She was supposed to be here Friday. The court was kind enough to reset it for today. I have not been able to locate Mr. Gonzalez.
Okay. And that's Roger Gonzalez?
Yes.
All right, could I have somebody from the state?
Frank Griffin for the state.
All right, we're gonna go on the record. So everyone who's in the box, I'm gonna need you to be quiet. Court is calling 2022 CR 8642, State of Texas versus Roger Anthony Gonzalez. Could our parties announce for the record for the state,
Ryan Grimmer.
for the defense?
Anthony Miller for Mr. Gonzalez.
All right, and could a deputy call Roger Gonzalez outside the courtroom, please? Roger Anthony Gonzalez. All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 9:21 a.m. This is actually a recall because the defendant was a no-show. And for the record, the defendant was a no-show on October 21st, a no-show on October 24th, and we recalled it for today. Have you had any contact with your client?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
All right, and deputy, did you announce for Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor, there was no answer.
All right, state.
State would move for bond forfeiture.
All right, that'll be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If you're able to get in contact with your client and your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I will continue to try to locate Mr. Gonzalez.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Forrester Johnson came back in the room.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, and I was gonna. Your Honor, I'm so sorry. I know we stepped away. Brian, Officer Aguilar is here. He's the one that got served. And I was gonna ask if you could place him on recall for December 5th, so we don't have to serve him again.
All right, officer, could you come forward, please?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Good morning. How are you doing today? I thought you were an extra deputy coming to help out. That's why I was looking at you. I was like, he's not moving to make the announcement in the hallway. But my understanding is that you have been subpoenaed. So you're still going to be under subpoena for December 5th. This is the attorney who subpoenaed you. Do you all need to exchange
I'll
contact
give him my phone
information?
number and get his.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for showing up.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right. Who's here on Corlissa Johnson? I'm going in order.
It's compliance hearing, Your Honor.
All right. Corlissa Johnson, come forward, please. All right, are you Miss Johnson?
Yes.
All right, so Miss Johnson, I want you to hear me clearly, okay? If there's something that I say that you don't understand, let me know. All right, so you're on deferred adjudication. When people are placed on deferred adjudication, and I see that I'm the one who placed you on deferred adjudication, and it's not just deferred adjudication, any type of probation, I want people to successfully complete it. If someone comes before me, even if there is an agreement with the state, and I think that you're not a good candidate for probation or a good candidate for deferred adjudication, or if I think that your history is such that you shouldn't have that, I won't give it to you. So when I put people on probation, I'm expecting them to be successful. And the key in this court, no matter what other courts are doing, the key to this court for being successful on probation is communication. You understand? So they're telling me that you've missed some appointments. And I understand that sometimes people miss appointments, right? But you can't miss any more appointments. You understand? So I'm reading this and they say you have an appointment on October 31st and a new top evaluation on December 2nd. If you miss those appointments, what's going to end up happening is a warrant's going to be issued for your arrest. And then at that point, what's going to end up happening is either you're going to end up doing those evaluations while you're in custody, or either you could potentially end up going to the state jail facility for 2 years. You understand? So do you have a calendar or something to put those dates down? Are you going to miss those dates? All right, because this is your last chance, because this is not the first time that I'm talking. Well, this is not the first time that someone's talked to you about missing these dates. You understand?
Yes.
Is Ms. Brown the person who's, all right, so probation, is there anything else?
They requested to amend for the dual diagnosis outpatient program and mixed supervision.
Okay, that will be granted. And do not miss your appointments. This is us trying to help you. So if I see you before me again and you miss these appointments, I will know that I extended help to you and you rejected it by not attending. Right. And you sure you have all those dates written down?
Yes, ma'am.
And probation, just to be on the safe side, can you give that to her handwritten and have her sign it and make a copy so we can put that copy in the file? Although I am notating that I've gone over to you extensively about making these appointments, okay? All right, good luck to you. Okay, then we'll just do a judge's warrant. Yes. All right, and here's this. Can I move these out of here? Daniel Ortiz. All right, have you had a chance to confer with the state?
I did yesterday, Judge.
Okay.
But the case looks older than it is because he was a fugitive for a while. But anyhow, so he's not here today, but what I was gonna want to bring up yesterday was on September the 19th. He was remanded without bond.
Mhm.
He was a fugitive. And then we talked and we were gonna set him on for $12,000. I didn't have a motion on file that time, but I did follow him on September the 19th.
Could I see your motion?
Sure.
All right, and Norman, do you have the PR bond background on Mr. Ortiz? No, it's not. And have you conferred with the state on an amount?
Well, we conferred on September, Judge, and we took that up before the court, and Ryan was with me at the time. And so.
All right, you want to confer with them and see if they agree on an amount or they do not agree on an amount?
We didn't agree on an amount back then, and you sent it at 12, but I can talk.
Okay, all right, thank you. Who's here on Richard Thomas? Richard Thomas, come forward. All right,
Follow your rules, Your Honor.
thank you, you did, and you've conferred, I appreciate
Sure
that.
did.
All right, so his plea deadline date has expired. My understanding, you're still requesting a jury trial?
Yes.
All right, as you know, we're currently in a jury trial, so your jury trial can't go today because I don't think the court reporter would really appreciate me if I did that. So
Be the first time in history we can do two at the same time, Your Honor.
yes, we have before in this court, but we will not do that this time. Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date on Mr. Thomas. I'm sorry, Richard Thomas.
I need to let the court know that I'm gonna be in trial in Midland on a murder case next month. Other than that, free game.
All right. We're gonna come back on December 5th, and that will be an impact court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, just get a reset form from Ms. Ferguson. Thanks for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you.
All right, who's here on Rudolph Montoya? Yes. All right, where's Mr. Montoya? Come forward, please.
We're here to get a trial date.
Yes. All right, so Mr. Montoya, you requested a jury trial? All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date on Mr. Montoya.
We can come back on, December 12th.
What date?
December 12th,
Thank you, Judge.
and that will be at 9 a.m. Your plea deadline date has expired. What that means is that the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements with it without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thanks for dressing appropriately for
Thank you, Your
court.
Honor.
Ms. Ferguson will give you your reset form.
Judge, did I address appropriately?
Well, I don't know about that time that Jasper put on it. But I joke. I think it looks great.
Said it was okay.
Who said it was okay?
Be real.
Oh, you're trusting Michael on that?
I don't know.
Have a good night.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Ferguson, but no, I think it looks great.
Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome.
Judge, do we need to worry about a reset?
Oh, yes, Ms. Ferguson will give you a copy.
Question your fashion.
Judge,
Can I get
Yes.
It's confusing.
Caroline. All right, who's here on John Garza? John Garza going once. John Garza, attorney, going twice. All right, we'll wait for that. Christopher Black,
Present, Judge.
Mr. Black,
Let's just step outside.
all right. All right, on Christopher Black. The last time we were here, the video was uploaded, and then yesterday was actually the plea deadline date, but I know it was recalled for today. So where are we on the plea deadline?
Judge, I was retained yesterday. I want to see if we could extend the plea deadline so I can review the discovery of the client.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I get a reset date on Mr. Black for 30 days?
Great.
All right, that's your plea deadline date, Mr. Black. If you hire another attorney, you're more than welcome to do so, or whatever you plan to do. But that's your plea deadline date, and I will not extend it any further. You understand?
Yes, sir. The only reason I extended it is.
No, I understand. I'm just letting you know if that were to happen. All right, so we're gonna come back on December 6th. On that day, you need to let me know if you're accepting the plea bargain agreement or not.
Sounds great, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Just get a reset form from Ms. Ferguson and you're excused. Yes.
Yeah, I spoke to Brian, counsel, and he's not opposed to the 12,000.
All right,
Mr. Daniel Ortiz is. Yes.
all right, Ms. Ferguson. Do you have a PR bond paperwork on Daniel Ortiz? Because I don't have it.
Let me check.
All right, is your client out here? Or he wasn't brought over?
Yeah, he wouldn't.
Okay. So state, what are you requesting for the bond amount?
I think we're okay with 12,000, Judge. He was originally on a $3,000 bond that he forfeited, but we're okay with $12,000.
All right,
Judge, we don't have anything.
okay. All right, what I'm gonna do is, of course, I'm not gonna grant him a PR bond because he was a bond forfeiture.
We understand, sir.
So based upon the history that I've received and also your agreement, I will follow your agreement. But I am gonna put him on GPS because he didn't show for court.
Well, he's in jail.
He's a Joe.
No, I know he's in jail, but when he gets on bond,
Oh, when he
Yes.
forfeited the last time.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
so he was a no-show.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
And does he have employment or no?
I don't.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the bond at 12,000.
Mhm.
I'm gonna place him on full GPS. If he's employed, I'll let the court know and I'll reconsider.
All right, sir.
Thank you. We need a reset date on him, Ms. Ferguson. How much time are you asking for?
I'll probably have to file a motion to suppress in this case, about 30, 45 days. Is fine.
30-day reset? All right, we'll come back on December 5th. And if you file a motion to suppress, have it filed by then. And if you want to speak to the state about the motion to suppress, just speak to them.
Yes, ma'am. Can I be excused?
Yes. Cassandra McAfee.
She's walking out.
All right, today is the plea deadline date. Where are we?
We do not have an agreement.
All right, so Ms. McAfee, are you requesting a jury trial?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. McAfee, are you requesting a jury trial? I know.
She has her Fifth Amendment
But I'm
rights.
trying to see if she can talk. I know she can. Are you requesting a jury trial?
Yes.
Okay. Is all the discovery completed?
Yes, sir.
All right. State, if I can get an acknowledgement of discovery.
I think we did one at least 1 or 2 settings ago.
Okay, let me see.
In fact, I remember Michael scrambling to do one.
Oh, you all are correct. And you did it on September 20th. I appreciate that. All right, are there any outstanding videos?
No, not like the other case from yesterday, no.
Okay. All right, so Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date. December 13th.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Who's here on Crystal Martinez?
I am your honor. No, I'm sorry. Maybe camera.
Crystal Martinez.
She's here too.
All right, Ms. Martinez.
That's the probation officer.
All right, so is this going to be contested?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Can I have someone from the state? And I need everyone in the box to be quiet, please.
Daniel.
Okay. Court is calling 2020 CR 2663, State of Texas versus Crystal Morales Martinez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Daniel Escobar, State of Texas.
for the defense?
Miguel Hernandez for the defense.
And are you Miss Morales?
Yes, Martinez.
I'm sorry, Miss Martinez? All right, let's go off the record for a moment. Can I have parties approach state and probation? All right, so do you need to talk to them now or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so if everyone could step back and I'll allow you to talk to them briefly.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I'll be back.
All right.
Not
And
even-
Miss Martinez, you need to remain in the courtroom.
Yes.
We're off the record. All right, who's here? Michael Anthony Enzana?
You like him up here too?
Yes.
Michael?
All right, so where are we on this case?
I'm talking to Mike. He's made an offer on the case. I haven't had a chance to discuss with my client. I wonder if I can reset this case for about 30 days. I'm pretty sure we'll work it out.
All right, do you have
And
all?
I've got all my discovery. I knew that yesterday. So I've got all my discovery and if we're ready to, we're ready to talk but I just need a little more time to do that.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset?
Yeah, can you just look at?
All right, so we'll be back on December 5th. That will be your plea deadline date.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank
doing
you.
that- Did you learn that from Susan Reed?
No,
Huh? What was the old federal rule? I can't think of.
yes, I think it's Fed.
No, Susan used to do that. She did it for about 3 or 4 months and then she kind of got backed up.
No,
I
I've
didn't
done
realize you
this.
were doing that.
Yeah, I've done it all the time,
Okay.
but that gives people,
Well, I never get close enough to trial. So that's-
yeah.
Thank you.
But if you get a reset form from Ms. Ferguson. Sorry.
Do a test on her now.
Sure. Justin Cotton,
President Council Judge.
all righty. Come forward, Mr. Cotton.
What is,
And we're gonna go on the record.
She can speak up.
Should I have someone from the state? Court is calling 2022 CR 3034, State of Texas versus Justin Cotton. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Catherine Pollard for the state.
for the defense?
Kelly Piddle.
And are you Mr. Cotton? Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Cotton, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, we are waiving the root here enhancement.
No objection.
Mr. Cotton, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with the offense of assault of a pregnant person? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Mr. Cotton, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. There's a $0 fine. There are no applications. The state will take in consideration 2022 CR 3035. There's to be no contact with Cassandra Jimenez. And is this a family violence, an affirmative finding of family violence?
Yes, Judge.
All right. So if the court reviews the evidence that's been presented, and if the court finds that it's an affirmative finding of family violence, then the court will put in the judgment that it's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea bargain agreement? Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Judge.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No.
Then to the offense as charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Yes, Judge. This offer was been marked as State's Exhibit 1.
No objection.
Mr. Cotton, I'm showing you what's entitled Waivering Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court is finding there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court is finding you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge. We'd just like to alert the court. Mr. Cotton was in the Nueces County Jail at the time he was magistrated on this offense. I have his magistration paperwork here. And he was magistrate on March 31st, 2022. So we're asking that he receive back time from that date.
State any objections to that? All right, then what the court will do, the court will follow your agreement. The court will find you guilty. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. The court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. Give you credit starting from March 31st, 2022. And counsel, was he in continuous custody?
He was.
And there's to be no contact with Cassandra Jimenez. And there's to be no contact I'll say no unsupervised contact with minors. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
There you go.
All right. Showing you a document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? And because this is a felony conviction and an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll have to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. How old are you? 33. Here's the thing. People who are having your children, you're supposed to love them. And if it's a situation where you don't love them and something just happened because people were drinking and this is what happened because we're not thinking correctly, we're living in the moment, you're still supposed to treat them with respect. You understand? So if you have anger issues while you're at the prison, you need to work through those and figure out why you are angry. You understand? And do not get involved in any other relationships until you better yourself. All right, good luck to you. Thank you. Who's here on Jamie Cameron?
I really am now, Your Honor.
Thank you. Oh, what did I do with it? Okay, thank you. All right, where's Jamie Cameron?
That's a good question, Judge. I have the slightest idea.
All right, is it a surety? It is 2021 CR 8688.
Security already filed an affidavit surrender back in
Oh,
October.
he said the surety already filed an
21st.
affidavit of surrender, so I'm gonna do a judge's warrant. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 8688A, State of Texas versus Jamie Cameron. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Pretty starts.
For the defense?
I asked for Mr. Cameron.
All right, this here was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 9:50. Could one of the deputies please call out in the hallway for Jamie Cameron? Where's your client?
I don't know where he is, Your Honor.
All right, and the court will note for the record that the court received a violation report from pretrial services stating that they've attempted to contact Mr. Cameron and they've had zero contact with him. Deputy, did Mr. Cameron answer?
No, ma'am.
All right, and the deputy has stated that your client has not answered. State.
We'd have to be forfeited bond and issue.
All right, the court will issue a judge's warrant and remain your client without bond. If you're able to get in touch with your client and your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Excuse.
All right, is Mr. Leal here? Oh, Johnny Jimenez? Yes, you're here and you have an interpreter
Yes.
for your case. All right, could we have Eliseo Perez Rodriguez? And where's your client?
I'm sorry, Judge.
Where's your client?
He's right.
Can someone ask him to come up in
Oh.
Spanish? And are we proceeding with sentencing?
We're proceeding on the plea and sentencing, yes.
All right, because I know there was a immigration attorney.
Yes, and we finally got the letter. It's been in the file.
All right, we'll put that on the record. And there is only one case, correct?
Correct, Judge.
All right, the court is calling 2018 CR 43496, State of Texas versus Alicio Perez Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Brian Groomer for the state of Texas.
for the defense?
Tony Jimenez, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Perez Rodriguez?
Yes, yes.
All right, so I don't speak Spanish, but I know there's a word for Spanish that is not yes. So either we're going to use the interpreter or we're not. So you need to make sure that you are speaking in Spanish.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Judge, if I may address the court on that. My client was.
well, before you address it, let me swear in the interpreter. All right, could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony, do you solemnly swear or affirm you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
I do.
All right, and then you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Maria Rivas.
All right, and defense, I do have the information from Judge Carruthers.
Yes, Judge, I understand that. I just wanted to make sure that the court understood also that my client, in my conversations with him this morning, he's had 5 medications this morning. He appears to be coherent. He can speak to me. But again, I have a concern. I didn't want the court to misinterpret him at all during this period of entry of the judgment and sentencing in the case. It's just a situation involving his competency. He has been determined to be competent. You have that report. It's just that he has a problem with comprehension. That's why he was not entered into the mental health court. So we've got that balance going on in the situation, Judge. That's all I want.
Oh, no, I understand. But I always want people to know that if we're having an interpreter, we have to use the interpreter because it gets a little confusing for everybody when we have the interpreter interpreting and they're interpreting English. All right. So the other issue before we get into the case is I see on the docketing sheet that there are immigration issues with him. So we're going to take that up as well when we go forward with the plea. Defense, do you speak Spanish?
Yes, Judge.
All right. And do you speak it fluently?
Yes, Judge.
And have you been able to communicate with your client in Spanish?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rodriguez, all of the documents that I'm going to review with you are in English. Were those documents explained to you in Spanish?
Yes, yes.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review with your client?
I have. Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Rodriguez, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes.
I am a bit confused. I don't know how it's called.
So it is the document that lets you know what you're charged with.
Oh, from immigration.
No, the document I'm referring to, it's called True Bill of Indictment. But that document will let you know what you're charged with. In this case, it's aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. It will let you know the date the state is saying it occurred.
Oh, yes, yes, I remember.
Okay. Did you understand that?
Yes, the paper, yes.
All right. Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Judge.
Mr. Rodriguez, did you review a document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions? It's the document that tells you what you're charged with. It contains certain rights you have in the plea bargain agreement.
All right.
Yes, but did you review it with your attorney?
Yes.
Did you understand it? All right, did you understand you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That is a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Mr. Leal, you can have a seat.
Asking,
You can have a seat.
I'm asking, I don't know. How do you act when you negotiate your charges?
Well, let's do this first. So I'm going to take it one at a time. Mr. Rodriguez, do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, yes.
All right, what
Yes, I
you're charged with, the range of punishment is 2 to 20 years in prison.
Oh, yes, yes, I understand that.
All right. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, I don't have to follow that agreement. If I don't follow that agreement, you can withdraw your plea. The fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you. Do you understand?
Yes,
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine or confront or question any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
oh, yes. Mhm. Yes,
Do you understand by entering into this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
yes,
And do you want to give up those rights and enter into this plea bargain agreement?
no, no.
Do you want a jury trial?
No.
All right, Mr. Jimenez, does your client wish to have a jury trial? I mean, I don't know, does he understand the question? I'll re-ask the question. So, Mr. Rodriguez, I want you to listen very carefully. Mr. Rodriguez, you've entered into a plea bargain agreement with the state. Do you understand?
Yes,
Do you want that plea bargain agreement?
yes,
All right, do you understand that if I follow your plea bargain agreement, and if you do not complete everything, that I could sentence you to prison?
I understand. what you mean.
All right, and that could be up to 20 years. Do you understand?
Yes,
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
At this point, yes, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the event?
I do, Judge.
All right, and my understanding, counsel, is that he has been evaluated. Is that correct?
He has.
And the results for that were that he was competent?
They were.
Mr. Rodriguez, has anyone threatened you? or coerced you to get you to enter this plea?
No, well, yes, I've had many things.
No, I want you to listen to my question. I'm trying to find out if you are entering this plea of your own free will. So has anyone forced, no one's forced you to enter this plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a US citizen?
No.
Counsel, we were here last time in August, and I believe an immigration attorney was requested.
That's correct, Judge.
All right, and has the immigration attorney provided him with a letter?
He has, Judge. We sat down this morning, we went through that. He understood and he remembered the conversation with Mr. Otero. He understands the consequences of his plea, and he had no questions about it. He's consented to the entry of the letter, of the Padilla letter to the court.
Okay. And this will be defense exhibit number 1. Any objection?
No objections from the state judge.
All right, then defense exhibit number 1 is admitted for purposes of this hearing. Mr. Rodriguez, were you advised or did someone speak to you about the consequences of entering a plea in this cause and the impact it will have on your immigration status?
How
All right. So you're not a US citizen, correct?
Yes.
All right. Did you speak to an immigration attorney?
Yes.
Do you understand what will happen when you enter into a plea to this case? With immigration?
Yes.
Do you understand that there are possible consequences of deportation, denial of naturalization?
Oh, no.
You don't understand?
I understand that I have a felony. And that the punishment is from 2 to 20 years, 2 to 20 years. If I'm not a citizen, if I am a citizen, I don't get deported. And if I'm a resident, I'll get deported. I already understood everything the court was saying.
Okay. So, Mr. Rodriguez, if you could do me a tremendous favor, if you will answer my questions. All right. So you're entering a plea in this case. Do you understand that you could be deported?
Oh, yes.
Do you understand that the right to be naturalized could be denied?
Oh, no. I didn't come. Is that I am quite busy. I don't know. I would like to be given the opportunity to get out of this situation so that my parents and I can work.
All right, so Mr. Rodriguez, I want you to listen to the question that I'm asking of you. Please just answer the question that I'm asking. If there is something else that you wish to say, then you can discuss it with your attorney or you can say it. So my question is, did you understand that you could be excluded from the United States?
No.
I don't know, you want to speak to your client?
Yes, Judge, I think clear it up for the court, I believe. The conclusion of the Mr. Otero was that if my client attempted to leave the United States, he possibly would be subject to deportation. But at this moment, he is not deportable. So that's his status. I explained that to my client. Mr. Otero explained it to him. And that's what he understood. And I think that's why it's causing hesitancy because of the language that's being used to.
All right, so it's an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He needs to understand that regardless of whether or not this is a deferred adjudication or not, that he could potentially be deported. Laws change all the time. So I just need to know if he understands that he could possibly be deported, that he could possibly be excluded from the United States.
Yes.
And do you understand that?
Yes, I do understand.
All right, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. According to the plea bargaining agreement, there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. The state recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Gabriel Ochoa and the DDRF evaluation. Did you understand that to be the plea bargaining agreement defense?
I do.
State,
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Rodriguez, is that the plea?
Yes.
All right, you signed the waiver of appeal. Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Sure.
Defense, have there been any such motions?
None, Your Honor.
Outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years and there be a TAP evaluation. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? What I'm saying is the state wants your term of probation to be for 2 years. That is something the court decides, not the state or the defense. Do you understand?
Oh, yes, I understand.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Yes, Judge. State would offer state's exhibit number 1.
We have no objections, Judge.
Mr. Rodriguez, did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? It's the document that contains the police reports.
Yes.
All right. Did you understand that today the state will be presenting their evidence in the form of the police reports and witnesses' statements? And there will be no one here to testify. Did you understand? All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states,
Gonna get out of jail.
Mr. Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez? You need to pay attention to the questions that I'm asking you. Do you understand?
Mhm.
All right. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding you guilty of you as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I think you have all of the relevant information. You have his history, you have the reports on his commitments. We're just asking the court, in light of all that, that he get supervision by MIOP or some specialized unit in the DA's office, because our concern is his ability to comprehend fully. Your Honor. That's all.
All right. Does he have a place to live or no?
Yes, Judge, his mother is willing and able and ready to take him in at this point and monitor his medications, whatever it is he needs to do, Your Honor.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. There's to be no contact with Gabriel Ochoa. There's to be a DDRF evaluation and TAP evaluation that will happen while in custody. My understanding is quicker while he's in custody. There's to be regular reporting in person or by Zoom. Hostility course. Regular UAs. And if he's not eligible for DDRF, can we make sure that he's set up with Center for Healthcare Services and he has a case manager? We're gonna do field visits 2 times per month. Mr. Rodriguez, are you employed?
No, I don't work.
Okay. All right, there's gonna be proof of employment within 60 days of release.
Oh, yes.
There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And if his relative wishes for him to live there, then the court will need to have a letter stating that.
Yes, Judge.
All right, is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, did you review a document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? It's the document that tells you whether or not you can have what's known as a do-over. Did you read that with your attorney?
Yes.
All right, because this is plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? What does mean?
No contest.
No, my question is, do you understand that because I followed your plea bargain agreement and you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal? That's either yes or no.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Excuse me, do you need this? Thank you. I just have one more.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll just get your signature right away.
And there's a second one, because I don't know if you need a new form.
No, just one a day is fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who are the parties on Juan Garcia Sanchez? If he can come forward. Mr. Garcia Sanchez? Oh, does he need an immigration? Oh, he doesn't need do you need an interpreter?
Yes.
All right, so you have an interpreter. We are not on the record. Is there a reason you're chewing gum in court? Yes, what is the reason you're chewing gum? I'm not. I would love some, but I'm not doing it.
Oh,
No gum chewing.
All right.
All right, so we're here. Is your client a citizen? My understanding is he's not.
No, Your Honor.
So
I
has
have
the
a
immigration-
Padilla letter.
So that's been addressed.
Yes.
All right, so is your client requesting a jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Garcia Sanchez, you wish to have a jury trial?
I'm sorry?
Do you want a jury trial?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date.
You come back on December 13th.
All right, your jury trial date will be December 13th. The court is currently in a jury trial, so we can't have two at one time. Thanks for dressing appropriately for court. And the court has the acknowledgement of discovery. Ms. Ferguson will give you your reset form and then you are excused.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if I can address another matter here, I filed a motion for a second chair, basically, and my second chair, the one that I proposed, has been receiving notices of settings. So I presume that
No, he's not listed. This is a first degree felony case. I'm fine with giving people a second chair if they want a second chair. But on first degree felony cases, your second chair has to be on the first degree felony list. And if they're not, they can't sit. Or either if you want them to sit, they can sit, but they can't be paid. So it's completely up to you.
he's very knowledgeable and he knows, he's been a lawyer more than I have.
Yes. So let me ask you this. So let's say you go to trial with that second chair who's not on the first degree list. I appoint him as your second chair and your client gets convicted. And your client will say on appeal that the person who was sitting there is not on the first degree list.
He was my second chair in a capital murder trial.
He's not on the first degree list here. All right, who's here on Edward Ringus? Okay, on this one is to modify the no contact order.
Yes, Your Honor. And the complaining witness is available on Zoom. She said that she's in the waiting room. If you'd like to confirm with her, I have provided an affidavit that she wants to remove the no contact order, but she's present.
Okay, so here's my question before we even start this. If this is a case where she's going to be questioned and she's going to say it didn't happen?
Well, no, I don't plan on getting into any of the facts, Judge. I don't have to ask her any questions. If you just want to confirm
But
that she wants
The
that.
state may ask her questions. So is this, if this is one of those things where she's going to say it didn't happen, she made it up, then she needs an attorney.
I don't believe so, Judge. I don't plan on asking her any questions about the facts of the case. I don't think the state.
The state hasn't spoken to this victim before at all. I would like to
So-
get her contact information and do that not on Zoom first.
Okay, so if you have her contact information, I will place her back in the waiting room.
Okay.
And if you can give that contact information to the state and the state could perhaps have a chance to speak with her and
Okay.
you all can coordinate that.
Okay.
So Ms. Rodriguez, I'm going to put you in the waiting room. The state may want to call you and speak with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Judge, if she does need to testify, she would need a translator.
Okay.
I know that.
Oh, we're filled with translators to say, that's okay. I'll pick up different languages. Sean Smith. Sean Smith? Who's the attorney for Sean Smith? Nathaniel Mackey. All right, Mr. Mackey. Okay, so what is happening with this case?
Judge, so he has one case of criminal trial, one case with Oscar Salinas in Pick. Oscar handed me some discovery yesterday, and then he has another thumb drive full of videos that I have to watch. There's a alleged thefts from mailboxes. So it's a postal inspector case.
How long is this discovery going to take? And where is Mr.
He
Salinas?
was, he's been waiting, Judge. I know he had the sentencing hearing on, he's still in Michelle Barrientos Vela's trial.
Okay,
And I think they were starting at 10 o'clock.
okay.
So
So how long, so do you believe you have all the discovery or is there going to be some more alleged?
I don't have all of it right now, but he's gonna give it to me this week. So I don't think we need more than, say, 30 days on a reset, Judge.
Okay.
We're working towards a resolution.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Nathaniel Mackey for discovery?
December 5th.
All right, we'll be back on December 5th, Mr. Mackey, and so that will be the last date, discovery date. If there are any other issues with discovery, then people will need to be subpoenaed.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. I'm sorry.
You have a good day.
Oh, thank you so much. You have a good day too. Who's here on John Garza? All right. Who's here on Jose Perez? Mr. Garza, just have a seat. We're waiting.
I'm here for Luis Martinez on that. I'm sorry.
Okay, Mr. Garza, come up. All right, so where are we on this case?
Judge, I believe that he's got this case worked out, but there's open investigations and unindicted cases.
So there's three pending family violence cases with two different victims. And the reason I say that is that I've already reached out to the crime victim liaison as well as our intake attorney to have these reviewed, expedite the review of them so that we can make a global offer that encompasses all of the cases, that resolves the issue.
All right, when do you expect that to be accomplished?
I told them generally the court gives a 30-day reset, and that we could do it before that.
All right.
And I emailed them yesterday.
Okay, Ms. Ferguson, can I get a 45-day reset on John Garza?
Thank you, Your Honor.
He's gonna need to get a reset form.
December 15th on that one.
All right, it'll be December 15th. Who's here on Jose Perez?
I am, Your Honor. I was just letting the clerk know that we need an interpreter on that. I don't know if she walked out.
Okay. Just have a seat. We'll get the interpreter.
Yes, sir.
Who's here on Brianna Mitchell? Miss Mitchell? Oh, the interpreter, what? Okay, if you just give us 1 second, okay? Thank you. I'll talk to him at the side. Could I have someone from the state, please? And Mr. Cepeda, if you can meet me in the hallway. And everyone, just give me 2 minutes. I will be right back.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
See if Lance or Anna can come back. All right, who's here on Billy Hernandez?
Ready, Your Honor. He's in the box.
Okay. Okay, this is. All right, Mr. Hernandez, if you'll come forward, please.
May he come forward, Your Honor?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
we're gonna go on the record. If everyone can please speak softly. Court is calling 2022 CR 7314, State of Texas versus Billy Joe Hernandez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense,
James Seeloff.
and are you Mr. Hernandez? Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, I have, and I signed it.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, I do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case? You need to speak up. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, he has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he is.
Mr. Hernandez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. The state recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours community service restitution, and the follow the recommendations from the TAP evaluation. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
Yes, Judge. State Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objection.
Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Only that I've discussed this matter with my client and he agrees with me. He's too old for this stuff. And I think he's really serious about trying to kick this habit. It's heroin. So I asked the court to follow the plea bargain and like pay full attention to the TAP evaluation. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, do you have any children? What are their ages?
19, 21, and 23.
All right. If you were released from custody, where would you be staying?
With my mom right now.
I'm sorry,
With my mother right now.
if you can lower the mask so we can understand you.
At my mom's.
All right, does your mother want you staying with her?
Yeah.
No, you say that, you assume, because everybody knows their moms love them and they'll accept you no matter what. But have you actually talked to her and said, Mom, may I live with you?
I talked to her.
And
And she said, it's okay.
did you say, may I live with you?
Yes.
And her response?
She said it was fine.
Have you ever been employed?
Yes.
Doing what?
Right now I work with Rangers Incorporated, where they pick up trash on the side of the highway. And I also do remodeling homes.
Okay. Any gang affiliation?
No, man.
What's up with the tattoos?
It was when I was younger. When I was younger and gangbanging in the streets, but I'm all done with that.
All right, so when I say gang affiliation, I mean like past affiliation. Some people, they're master gardeners. And they let their membership lapse. And so they kicked them out of master gardeners class. But if I ask them, hey, you know anything about gardening? They will usually say, well, I used to be a master gardener. So what gang?
I was Kings.
Okay. All right. This is what the court will do. The court will sentence you to 6 years in prison, suspended and probated for 6 years. I'm going to want gang supervision. 150 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you can provide the proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to get it, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. There is to be regular reporting. There's to be the UA hotline until further notice. I'm going to want field visits 3 times per month. I'm going to want proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And how old are you?
47.
47?
That's right.
All right, those 3 months where I'm saying field visits 3 times a month, you're allowed to live with your mom for 3 months. After that, you need to get your own place. You understand?
That's right.
So probation, he's only allowed to reside with his mother for 3 months. I'm going to want a TAP evaluation, and the TAP evaluation can be done out of custody. If the TAP evaluation recommends inpatient treatment, we're going to start him with intensive outpatient treatment. And I'm going to want sober meetings 3 times per week. And that's going to be until he is actively in intensive outpatient treatment. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? Did you review a document with your attorney entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal?
Yes.
Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak with an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Your Honor, we waive our request to set bond. That's gonna get out this afternoon, hopefully.
All right, it'll probably be 1 a.m.
Okay.
All right, thank
You
you.
might miss the bologna sandwich.
Who's here on Adrian Soto? And then after this, we're going to take up the interpretation. Where's Mr. Soto?
Right here, Judge.
Come forward. What is happening with this case?
Judge, it's a first setting case. This voluminous discovery. I need to give the state a thumb drive so I can download it.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Soto, can I have a 30-day reset?
December 5th.
All right, we'll come back on December 5th. By that time, you need to have given them the thumbs up.
I'll bring it tomorrow, Judge.
All right, thank you. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
Thanks, Judge.
All right, who's here? I'm Jose Perez. Hello, great seeing you.
Hey, Judge, good morning.
It's burning up. It's hot in here. All right, and this is not on the record. On Jose Perez, it's not on the record, so I just want him to hear what I'm saying.
Okay.
All right, so this was set today for a plea deadline date. Mr. Perez, are you requesting a jury trial? Yes. And defense, I have the acknowledgement of discovery, but have you received all the discovery?
I have everything that's written in there, Judge, yes.
All right, your plea deadline date has expired. Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date on Jose Perez. Family violence.
We can send him to impact court on December 5th.
All right, you will be in impact court on December 5th.
Can I double check trying to make sure I'll be in town?
That's the jury trial date, counsel. If you're not going to be here, you need to file a motion for continuance.
I think that's gonna work out.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Migdalela Salazar. Migdalela Salazar.
Took me a moment, Judge. I was gonna tell you.
Yes. So, Ms. Salazar, are you still requesting a jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date on this case. It is family violence.
We can do the same. Oh, we can do.
Judge, I will be leaving the country on the 13th.
All right, we need to do it before then, December 5th.
December 5th, that's the Monday after my wedding.
Okay,
How would you like to have that?
all right.
December 5th, okay.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. Thanks for dressing appropriately for court. Who's here on James Hasso? The attorney? All right, just have a seat. All right, could I see defense counsel, Mr. Zepeda, and state's attorney in the hallway, please? Brianna Kelly. Brianna Kelly.
Your Honor, this is the first setting on her case, and I would like to request a reset of about 30 days to be able to review all the video with her on it.
Okay, have you conferred with the state?
I told, yes, just to talk about that, I needed to ask for more time.
Okay, and state, did you make an offer or no?
No,
Okay. All right, so is there a lot of video in this case?
there is.
Really?
There was at least 10 officers. There's like 4 pages of how many videos.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Kelly?
Brianna Kelly. Okay,
All right, it's gonna be December 5th, and I showed that you were a no-show on August 23rd. At least that's what's written here on the docketing sheet. What page is she on the page 15? All right, why are you late for court?
Today,
Yes,
I think I was on time. I just sat in the wrong chair.
no, you were not in this courtroom because I called the docket every day at 9. So why were you late? So I have an issue with you. You were late today, and I have an issue on the docketing sheet that you were a no-show for the last setting. So here's the thing. If you want me to help you be on time, I can help you with that. And you know how I'll accomplish that? You'll be coming over from the Bexar County Jail dressed in blue. So do you want that?
Come in.
Then if you are late again, that's what's gonna potentially happen to you. Do you understand?
Okay.
All right, we're coming back on December 5th at 9 a.m. And Ms. Ferguson, if you can highlight and circle 9 a.m. for Ms. Kelly, please. They'll give you a reset form.
thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Ms. Kelly.
Who's here on Martin Martinez?
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. What is happening with this case?
Judge, we conferred with the state. They need to confer with the victim prior to making an offer. There's also quite a bit of discovery. I just finished a jury trial, so I need a setting to go through the discovery with Mr. Martinez.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Martin Martinez? All right, we'll come back on December 8th. At that time, the state will be prepared to give you an offer.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank you for addressing appropriately the court. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. Alberto Trevino.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, Mr. Trevino, you still are requesting a jury trial?
All right.
All right. As you know, we're currently in a jury trial. We can't do 2 jury trials at the same time. I cannot divide myself and divide the court reporter. So, as you know, your plea deadline date has expired. Ms. Ferguson, can I have is this a family violence case? All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date on Mr. Trevino, Alberto Trevino.
We can hear that one on, for impact.
All right, it will be on December 5th, and you'll be in impact court, and Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form, then you're excused.
Get your.
And of course, you're always dressed appropriately for court.
Thank you, Judge. I'm gonna make sure my client does next time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and Ms. Ferguson will give you your reset form.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, who's here on Crystal Martinez?
I am, Your Honor. The state. She just stepped out, and I'll get her.
Okay. Adrian Arias. Who's the attorney on Adrian Arias? Okay, just have a seat. Who is here on Valerie Castillo? Ready to come forward? Just give me a moment and then we'll take her up. Valerie Castillo. Court is calling 2022 CR 7679, State of Texas versus Valerie Ann Castillo. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? For the defense?
Scott Hill.
And are you Ms. Castillo? Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
As far as I know, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Off the record. All right, everyone in the box. If you're behind the court reporter, you're gonna have to stop conferring in the box because she needs to hear. Counsel? All right. Ms. Castillo, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, sir.
Showing you what's entitled court admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did, I'm sorry. That's okay. Did you review it with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, you're proceeding on the indictment as presented. I know I've asked that before.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. All right, Ms. Castillo, showing you what's entitled court admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram? The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
She has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she is currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe she was and is, Judge.
Ms. Castillo, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived a right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. There is a $1,500 fine to be probated, and the state recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State.
Yes, sir.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State, any evidence?
Yes, Judge. States Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objections.
Ms. Castillo, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, she's motivated to do well. I just asked the court to follow the plea agreement.
Ms. Castillo, do you have any children?
Not with me, but yes.
What are their ages?
The oldest 23, not 5, 19,
I'm sorry, I can't understand what you're saying. You need to speak up.
from 13 to 23. I have 5.
From 13 to 23? And where are they?
They're, well, the youngest one is, I don't know, because like they adopted him when I was incarcerated.
Okay. All right, where are you living? Who?
I was supposed to, I mean, on my own, my husband.
All right, are there children in the household? If you're drug tested today, and before you answer, know that you're going to get drug tested today. I'm trying to figure out what conditions to give you so that you can be successful. So I need you to be honest with me. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you're drugged today, what are the results going to be?
I'm positive, but as soon as I start probation, I'm not gonna.
No. I mean, just, here's the thing, where we are in life changes. So today, you have a felony, you're gonna have a felony conviction. But when I see you, hopefully 6 months from now, you'll be a person who's improving, right? I don't expect people when they're placed on probation the day of to be perfect, because if you were perfect, you wouldn't be here on probation. So what are you going to be positive for?
Um,
All right. So how often are you using meth?
Last time I used it with Dave.
Okay. So how often do you use?
Throughout the day. I don't.
Okay.
Throughout the day. I don't know how to explain it.
All right. So, and does your husband use?
No. Well, he does sometimes, but not like, I mean, I told him to not, if he's gonna be to my side, not to be like.
Okay. But
Pressure.
see, here's where I'm coming from, and I want you to understand me. Everybody goes through this life's journey. You may have people who are supporting you, like the cheerleaders in your life, you know, rah, rah. They're supporting you. They're your publicists. They want you to do well. But sometimes there are people who are along for the ride. People who, when you have an idea, even though it's a horrible idea that's going to get you in trouble, they're like, yeah, let's do that. So you're in a situation with your husband where he's not a good influence. And he's not a good influence because he's using it as well. I have no jurisdiction over him to get help. What's his name? Caesar what?
Oriana.
I'm white.
Oriana.
What did she say?
Oriana.
Caesar Oriana.
All right. How far did you go in school?
I graduated.
So what are you planning on doing with your life as far as your life stream?
I was, I was looking into, both, I mean, cosmetology.
Okay. Well, I don't want to burst anyone's dream, but I will tell you, anything that requires you to have a license, they do a background check. And even if you have cases that you have somebody seal them, they're allowed to see what those seal cases are. So I don't know if your cosmetology career is over based upon this plea or not. But before you start spending a lot of money to seek to do that, you probably should do some investigation into that, okay? All right, are you currently employed?
I'm self-employed.
Doing what?
Cleaning houses and yard, and putting yards, cleaning yards.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facilities, suspended and probated for 2 years. There's a $1,500 fine, probated. 100 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours be waived if you provide the proof of the COVID testing. I'm sorry, the COVID vaccination with booster. Court is not requiring you to do that, but if you do, then 40 of those hours will be waived. There's to be parenting classes. Once you complete those classes, then the remaining of the hours will be waived. And I'm going to want triple T parenting for her. There's to be regular reporting in person or by Zoom. There is to be the UA hotline until further notice. I'm going to want a TAP evaluation And we'll start her with intensive outpatient treatment. I'm gonna want sober meetings. And I'm gonna want 90 meetings in 90 days. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. You're gonna be allowed to reside with your husband for 2 months. That's it. Then you're gonna have to stay somewhere else because he's not gonna help you with your probation. If he's using meth, then you're gonna end up using. Sort of like me on my diet. If somebody's eating a mac rib and I say I'm not gonna have a mac rib, and they, Stephanie, here, have a mac rib. They're good today. I'm gonna have a mac rib. Because at the end of the day, if you hang around the barber shop, you know what's gonna end up happening, whether you intend to or not, whether you have hair or not, you're gonna get a haircut, you're gonna get a trim. Somebody's gonna say, let me just, put a little razor here or there. So you're only allowed to reside with him for 2 more months. Then after that, you're not allowed to reside with him. And if your husband decides to go into treatment and get on the path of sobriety, I'll reconsider that. And I'm doing that to help you. I'm gonna want field visits 2 times per month. And there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from me in order to be successful? No. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. So here's the thing. You have 5 children and you haven't been raising them. You still have a chance, get your life in order, and maybe at some point in time, you can be in their life as a positive influence, okay? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who is here on Krista Martinez?
She's present, Your Honor.
All right, come forward. So is there an agreement on this or no?
Yes, Your Honor, we've come to an agreement.
All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 2663, State of Texas versus Crystal Morales Martinez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Miguel
Hernandez for the defense.
Ms. Martinez, I'm showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and First Amendment motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? I'm sorry, not sign it, but did you review it and understand it? Are you the same Crystal Morales Martinez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 2663 for the offense of possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 to 200 grams on September 10th, 2020 for a period of 5 years? Is that you? State?
Violated condition number 1, on or about the 8th day of August 2022 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Crystal Morales Martinez, committed the offense of possession of a controlled substance, EG1, in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? State?
But the state waives all the violations.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty and sentence you up to life in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1? Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
Your Honor, the agreement is to revoke on this case and sentence the defendant to 5 years TDC and the TIC from open cases.
And what are the open
It's going
cases?
to be county court cause number 690 608. And County Court Cause number 690-609. And then night mag number 673-793.
Counsel, is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Ms. Martinez, are you asking the court to follow that agreement? Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor. We filed it, Your Honor.
You're waiving your right to appeal?
You have to answer.
Yes.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. As previously stated, the court is finding violation of condition number 1 true. The court is going to grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. Take in consideration County Court Cause number 690-608, 690-609, night mag number 673-793.
Your Honor, my client wanted to approach the judge. She has, she displayed to the court yesterday, she asked children. She was going to ask if she could get, before she actually has to have the sentence imposed, could you give her some time? She was asking to the beginning of January to make arrangements for her children and other situations that she has regarding her property and everything before she begins her sentence, so that the children can be properly cared for, Your Honor. And I'd like her to inform the court if she could.
All right, do you want to raise your right hand?
Thank you, Judge.
Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Crystal Morales Martinez.
All right, what did you wish to say to the court?
If I could get some time to handle my affairs. Currently, one of my kids passed away a year ago. My mom passed away 2 years ago. I'm currently living at a hotel right now. So I need time to place my kids. I have 5 kids. One of them graduated with honors. And I have 4 small children living. So if I could get time to place them with the loved one, you know, one of my family members.
Where are your children now?
They're currently in school, but my 1-year-old's with my sister right now and my 4-year-old. So I live at a hotel right now.
And did you do your UH there?
Yes.
And what are the results?
I came out early
All right.
from one of them. But slightly was late, but still it did come out.
Okay, all right. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney, okay? All right, so you're going to be going into custody today. I can ask that you be placed in the therapeutic community if you would like to do that. It doesn't increase the time that you are in custody. All right, would you like that?
I'm sorry, with that.
Therapeutic community to perhaps help you with your drug issues. All right, can you add therapeutic community to that, please? And we're off the record. You're not any good to your children if you're using, you understand? So you got to get yourself together. Now, obviously, you feel as though your sister is the right person to be taking care of your child. I'm hoping she's clean and sober, because that may be the best person to take care of your child right now, and you need to get yourself together.
Yes.
Now, when you come back from prison, you know, at the most you'll be there is 5 years. They may release you sooner. But when you are released, do not come out of prison and try to step into the role as mom and parent and lay down the law and set your own rules. Because remember, there's someone else who's been taking care of your children. All right, good luck to you.
Can Ms. Brown be excused?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Brown, for being patient. Have a great day. I love the pictures behind you. The paintings, they're beautiful. All right, who's here on, you're welcome. Who's here on Adrian Soto? Okay, I got this back for some reason. Okay. Thank you. Arnisha Graham.
I don't think Miss Ricky McDonald's here yet, Judge.
Okay.
She'll be right back.
All right, who's here on Daniel Van Duzer? Thank you. No. Oh, no record for this. Yes.
Mr. Van Duzer is actually on his way. His truck broke down. Today was just for us to announce whether he was going to accept the plea bargain. I can tell you that he is not accepting the plea bargain and just would like a trial.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, I'm gonna request a trial date for him, but he needs to be here to get the reset form. All right, do you have all the discovery?
I do.
All right, let me make sure the discovery acknowledgement is in here. Yes. All right, and are these criminal trial division?
Yes.
All right, what date, Ms. Ferguson? All right, jury trial date will be December 12th.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Okay, loving the pen. Who's here on Brandon Sierra?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing? I enjoy your adventures. I know it's like, oh my gosh, it looks so peaceful. Right?
Thank you.
All right, so on this one, are you still requesting your jury trial?
Yes.
All right, so we're currently in a jury trial, so we can't have two going at the same
Yes,
time.
Judge.
Ms. Ferguson, can I have a jury trial date on Sierra? And it is family violence.
I can do November 28th.
All right, November 28th. Oh, you can't do that. All right, Ms. Ferguson will give you.
December 28th. But I can be here. Yeah, but either way I can.
All right, November 28th, Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. Thanks for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, who's here on Isaiah Sampson? Yes. Oh, just one second. We're waiting for the court reporter to come back. All right, who is this in the? Oh, they're in here. Okay. Yes, she's on Zoom. I guess they talk with her. State on Edward Bringus. And we're not proceeding yet because we don't have the court reporter. She's taking a short break. But did you have a chance to speak to the witness?
I did, Judge, and I do anticipate, you would probably want her to have it adjourned.
Okay, so Nathaniel, can you come forward?
But we did also discuss, we don't have a lot of evidence yet in this case. So if I had a chance to review additional evidence.
Okay, so we're gonna have to recall this anyway, Mr. Navy, because she's gonna need an attorney appointed to her. And it's gonna be very difficult to get an attorney appointed and to do it all on Zoom. So is she able to come in?
Judge, I believe she's in Mexico right now. And my position, Judge, would be, I don't think it's necessary to get into the facts of the case. I know that she signed an affidavit that's attached to the motion that I gave you. And basically the gist of, if you wanted to confirm with her, is she doesn't feel that there's any chance of violence and she'd like to move back in with her husband. It's not necessary for me to question her about the facts of the case. I don't know if the court does, though. I understand that why the court would want more time. I think that my position would just be if we could proceed, and I won't get into any of the facts of the case or question her on any of that.
State, are you going to get into any of the facts of the case?
Judge, I believe I would need to in this.
All right, so that's where we are. She's gonna need an attorney. And we're gonna have to reset it on a different date. And at least if she's gonna have an attorney and if she's still gonna be in Mexico and she's gonna be by Zoom, then at least I can have a defense attorney who's already spoken to her. So Ms. Ferguson, we're gonna need to reset Bringus. And then the defense's witness, who's the complainant, is going to need an attorney and preferably one who's a Spanish speaker. Thank you, Ms. Rivas, for coming.
Yes,
All right, thank you.
can I be
So-
dismissed or
Yes,
do you
may
want?
be excused.
All right, okay,
All right,
thank you,
thank
Judge.
All right, so which Jade, Ms. Ferguson?
It's a nightmare. You can enter a PIN number.
Yes, and I'll give this to you.
When did you want them to come back here?
Well, they are, my understanding, there's only one witness, but we need to just make sure that the complainant has a attorney who speaks Spanish.
And when is she coming back from Moscow?
No, it's going to be by Zoom. Yes.
I can do it like, I guess around November 14th.
Okay.
Sounds
All right,
good.
thank
Thank you,
you.
Judge.
All right, who's here on Brandon Sierra?
I'm here.
Oh, this is, I'm sorry, I've already signed it. That's okay.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, the court is calling. It's going to be your client. Court is calling 2022 CR 1928 and 2019 CR 1236W, State of Texas versus Isaiah Sampson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Get out of the floor for Isaiah Sampson.
All right, we're going to proceed first on 2019 CR 1236W. Are you Mr. Sampson? All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Isaiah Jordan Sampson who was placed on community supervision in 2019 CR 1236W for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2, 4 to 400 grams on February 6, 2019 for a term of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Violated condition number 1, on or about the second day of December 2020 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Isaiah Jordan Sampson committed the offense of felon in possession of a firearm in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
We're gonna waive all of the violations.
Any objections to the state's waiver?
No, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 5 years in prison and up to a $1,500 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
Judge, there is, I'm filling in from what defense counsel tell you to agree.
Sure.
Just the agreement is for 4 years concurrent with 2022 CR 1928.
All right, state, is that the agreement? All right, Mr. Sampson, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison. This is run concurrent with 2022 CR 1928, and court will give you credit for any time served. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, we're going to proceed in 2022 CR 1928. Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Sampson, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sampson, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with felony in possession of a firearm as a third-degree felony? The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sampson, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, you're to be sentenced in 4 years of prison. There are no applications. This will run concurrent with 2019 CR 1236W. State will take in consideration CM number 679-607-209-0331. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
None, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that you forfeit any claim on, I'm assuming the items in CM 679-607 and 2022 CR 1928. Are those the weapons?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Yes, Judge. States Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial? A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just respectfully asking the court, Your Honor, to follow the agreement.
All right. And I noticed that the destruction of the weapons are outside, well, the forfeit of the weapons are outside the agreement. Is there a reason for that? Do you have any objections to those being
No objection,
destroyed?
Your Honor.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. This is run concurrent with 2019 CR 1236W, taking consideration CM 679-607, 209-033. You're to forfeit the weapon, and the weapon is to be destroyed. And cause number CM 679-607 and 2022 CR 1928. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
Nothing further from defense, Your Honor.
Mr. Sampson, I'm showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you don't have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. How old are you?
29.
All All right, 29, you're still a youngster. I can say that because of my age, but time moves quickly. And before you look up, you're going to find yourself in your 40s, in your 50s. And the question for you is going to be whether or not though that time when you look up is going to be from behind bars. You're going to have to start living your life better. You understand? All right, good luck to you. All right, yes. Who's here on Justin Schermerhorn? Who's here on Schermerhorn?
Billy Hernandez.
Maureen.
All right. Who's here on Christopher Givens? All right, Mr. Givens.
Mr. Gibbons is not here, Judge. I was in touch with him this morning. I thought he was on his way. There was a discovery issue we were going to bring up that's being addressed with the state. They requested some additional videos that weren't available yet. Would the court consider recalling him tomorrow? See if he shows?
No. Because he's previously no-showed. And we recalled it before. And that was on August 22nd, 2022. All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 6398 State of Texas versus Christopher Givens. Can I have a deputy make that announcement on the hallway? Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Sparks.
Defense?
John Robertson.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. is now 11:24 a.m. Mr. Givens has not made an appearance. Defense, do you know where your client is?
I don't. Like I said, Your Honor, I was in touch with him this morning, a little after 9. I thought he was on his way.
All right, deputy, is there, you made an announcement. Was Mr. Givens outside?
No, ma'am, he was not.
All right, state.
We don't need forfeit his bond and issue a warrant.
All right, that will be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Who's here on Arnisha Graham? Oh, we're going to be on the record for this. Court is calling 2022 CR 7966. Is she not here?
Judge, I think she's at the back.
Okay. All right, is the attorney here on, just remain here, on Sean Smith? I know he's in federal custody.
Eric said he's on his way to Joanna, he's on his way back.
Okay. And who is on Jose Garcia? Guadalupe Garcia?
We already did that, we gave him the reset.
Oh, okay.
That was,
Oh, no, this is. No, this one hasn't been given a reset.
so when I was looking at. Oh, I have John G. Garza, sorry. Wrong.
All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 7966 State of Texas versus Zernisha Graham. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Sparks.
For the defense?
Christine McDonald.
And are you Ms. Graham?
Yes.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. I need your client's signature. Ms. Graham, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State you're proceeding on the indictment as presented.
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Graham, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, she does.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Graham, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes,
Are you a U.S. citizen?
ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived a right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's $1,000 fine probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. Take in consideration county court cause number 676118, 2022 CR 1967, and county court cause number 676119. And there's restitution to SAPD for laboratory testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
If you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal, the only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours community service restitution, and the CATS program. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense is charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
Yes, Judge. State Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we're just respectfully requesting that you consider the plea bargain agreement, and we're just also asking if you would consider allowing my client to do the TAP evaluation out of custody, Judge.
All right, Ms. Graham, do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
14, 8, 14, 10, 10, 7, 5, and 4.
Okay, 14, 10, 10, 7, 5, and 4. And are the 10-year-old twins?
No, they're Irish 10.
Okay. All right, where are your children now?
3 are with my mom and 3 are in DCFS.
Which 3 are with your mom?
My oldest girl, my youngest girl are with my mom, my son, my 4-year-old, and then my 10, 10, and 7-year-old are in DCFS custody.
Okay. So have you had employment?
Pay setters, I work at pay setters on here, but now.
Okay. So how long have you been using?
Since 2017.
Why did you start using?
My grandma passed away.
I'm sorry, Judge, I'm having a hard time with them.
When my grandmother passed away, I took it hard. I've been shell shocked pretty much ever since then. And
But I mean, you had to have been using before then.
no, I tried it once when I was like 17.
Okay, see, that's what I mean,
But
because a
I
lot
never
of
smoked
people,
it again.
right, because a lot of people get shell shocked by somebody's death, but they don't immediately go to things that they
Yeah.
haven't done before.
Yeah, but yes, I've tried it when I was younger, but I never smoked it again until that age.
Who's your CPS attorney?
Alita Warden is my caseworker. I don't know who my attorney is Linda Linda Urkel. I don't know. I tried to fire her because she violated my civil rights.
No, here's the question. Did you hire her?
No,
How are you gonna fire somebody you didn't hire?
she violated my civil rights.
Well, then are you gonna
advised me
hire an
against my
attorney?
civil rights.
Are you gonna hire an
I'm
attorney?
trying to.
All right, so here's the thing. You have children who are depending on you. People need to stop being fruitful and multiplying and think that's the end. So when you have children, you have to take care of them. So now you are in the situation where you have children and they are separated. And let me just tell you, that is one of the worst things. And it's the worst thing because guess what? You have 3 young children who are with your mom. You have 3 that are in childcare with somebody they don't know, strangers. And you know what they're probably wondering? They're probably wondering why we are not with our siblings. Why are my youngest siblings with the grandmother and we're not? Why are we left out here to fend for ourselves? And that's your fault because you don't have your life together. You're being fruitful, you're multiplying, but you are not taking care of your fruit. You understand? So you're gonna have to start doing better. And you need to know who your CPS attorney is because that's the number one thing. If you don't know who your CPS attorney is, that means that you're probably not working your service plan. And if you don't work your service plan, you know what may end up happening? Your rights are going to be terminated. Sure, your 3 younger children will be with your mom. The other 3 are just going to be out there on their own with strangers raising them. And they may end up separating them. And the 2 twins that you're saying are Irish twins, they may end up separated. And so right now, your 14-year-old, your 10-year-old, and your 10-year-old, right now, they're the only thing they have is each other. And if you don't get your act together, they may end up being separated. They're already separated from their other siblings, the 7, the 5, and the 4-year-old. So you got to get your life together. And if you're not going to get your life together, don't be making promises to them. Do you understand? All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's $1,000 fine that will be probated. 5 years deferred adjudication. Take into consideration County Court Cause number 676118, 2022 CR 1967. County Court Cause number 676119. There's restitution to SAPD for laboratory testing. There's 150 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide the proof of COVID vaccination. There's going to be parenting classes. And the remaining of the hours will be waived once you complete the parenting classes. There's to be CPS compliance. And if you're released from custody, where are you staying?
No.
That's a no. And let me just tell you why that's a no. Because I've done child protective services cases, and you know why your children are allowed to stay with her? Because you're not there. So you're gonna have to find your own place.
They're under PMC, so they're not under CPS at all. That's why.
You're not staying there.
Okay.
You're gonna have to get a new place. You can't pass on your responsibility to your mom, who's supposed to be their grandmother, to turn into their mom, and you don't do your plan. And then your plan, your CPS plan is, oh, I'll let her have custody and then I'm just going to step in. So that's not happening. You can't live with your mom. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month, random, until further notice. I'm going to want the UA hotline upon release. And she needs to be tested at least once a week. She can do the TAP evaluation out of custody. If you miss that TAP evaluation, that's going to be a violation of your probation. You're going to be back in custody. You understand? And whatever the TAP recommends, if they recommend inpatient treatment, we're going to start with intensive outpatient treatment. I'm going to want sober meetings. I'm going to want 90 meetings in 90 days. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. They want you to do the CATS program. You have a lot on your plate, so I'm going to give you the CATS program. Don't steal. Don't take what doesn't belong to you. If somebody invites you to their house and asks you to leave, leave. If you're not invited to somebody's house by that owner, don't go. If a third party invites you to go to somebody else's house, say no, because that invitation is not for you unless they're allowing someone to be a +1. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. May I ask a question?
Yes.
You said no employment as in-home care provider. Does that count as nursing homes too? Because you know I'm a certified nursing.
No, you're not allowed to do that. Probation, is there anything else she needs? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? Do you need anything else from me? Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, good luck to you. You need to do better for your children. Be a parent to them. All right, who's here on Sean Smith? What is happening with his federal case?
He's still waiting his next court date. He's got felony possession charges, federal side. I spoke with Mr. Grummer today. We did receive an offer on this case. I'm hoping we can resolve it. I do expect him to do some federal time. So we're going to hopefully, if he accepts the offer, bring him here and get that done before he gets sentenced.
All right. They're probably not going to release him to come here. So, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 60-day reset on Mr. Smith? Yes. We can do it towards the end of January.
January 31st.
All right, January 31st it is. Yeah, it'll be 2023. Mr. Koski can forgive the Florida Gators, he can forgive you.
Yeah, that's right.
Repeat Georgia.
Be Georgia.
Here.
All right, Norma, what are we doing with Brianna Mitchell? Okay. Okay, so we're done with these. And this one, we're waiting for the attorney. Nothing may happen on that today. And was it Brianna Kelly, the one who I remanded up on? Oh. Who's here on Adrian Arias? All right, so what are we doing on this case?
You should have a copy of the agreed
Yes.
motion for bonds. One correction, Your Honor. One of the agreed terms was weekly reporting weekly UAs. I don't think that was.
Thank you. And is he in the box?
He is in custody. That's
Oh,
right.
come forward, please.
I just heard you're still in trial.
All right, so I've reviewed everything. All right. So when are we doing his actual case?
Well, I'm assuming we're in the setting after he's out of line. That's what my hope is, that he'd be out a little bit so we can go ahead and get him started on his weekly reporting weekly ways.
Okay. And this partial house arrest, is that for employment purposes only?
Yes, Judge, which I believe he did not have employment at the time when he was on probation, at least according to the probation report.
All right. So I reviewed the pretrial services report. And I'm gonna follow your agreed bond order, which is for bond to be set at 40,000, and we're not a bond to be set at 40,000. It'll be partial house arrest. I'll ask that your fees be waived. And you are allowed to be out for an employment only, and there's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And there's to be weekly reporting and weekly UAs. Ms. Ferguson, when can we set this? Is this going to be contested?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
All right, when can we set him for a hearing on his motion to revoke? All right, November 28th. If you miss that date, and can you give him a reset form? If you miss that date or you don't show, we will hear your case while you're in custody. Do you understand? All right, they'll give you a reset form.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Who's on Jose Garcia?
I am Judge.
Where's Jose Garcia?
Judge, I have his brother, Jonathan Garcia.
Okay, so you don't have Jose Garcia?
not, Judge. I'm Jonathan Garcia.
Yeah. Who's here on James Hasso? And Mr. Garcia is next. Court is calling 2022 CR 9444, State of Texas versus James Lee Hasso. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
James Hunt.
Are you Mr. Hasso? Defense, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Sure.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Hasso, showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Okay.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State your proceeding as presented.
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Hasso, I'm going to show you a document entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and an Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial? A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense? Mr. Hasso, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
The plea is punishment to be assessed at 2 years in the prison, and the state recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense? State?
Yes, Judge.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions? Showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 120 hours community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state? And the court does not have to follow those recommendations.
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No comment.
State any evidence.
Yes, Judge. States Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objection.
Showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney?
Yes,
Did
ma'am.
you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept it to evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court is finding there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and I will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
My client's expressed to me that he is tired of the previous lifestyle that he's been leading and wants to better himself. And looks forward to this opportunity.
All right, Mr. Hasso, do you have any children?
No, no.
If you're released, where will you be staying?
My sister's.
Does she want you there? Have you picked up the phone and called her and she said you can live with her?
Yes.
How often have you been employed?
All the way to last year.
All right, and what do you do?
Plumbing.
All right, the court is gonna find you guilty, sentence you to 2 years in prison, suspended and probated for 2 years, 120 hours community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide the proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring it, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. There's to be the UA hotline for 3 months. If there are no issues, then that can be tapered off. Field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. If there are no issues, that can be as probation feel is needed. There's to be regular reporting in person or by Zoom. And we'll do a TAP evaluation while out of custody. And I'm gonna want sober meetings 2 times per week until further notice. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Hasso, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney, okay? All right, good luck to you. All right, so who's here on Jose Garcia? Jose Guadalupe Garcia. Are they please in custody? He should be, because there's a BF. State on Jose Garcia. Did you have all the information on the unindicted cases? It's the body armor case.
I think that's.
All right, and his client is not here. So that's gonna be a bond forfeiture.
This is one of the cases we continue to have him brought back today. And he was just here for a reason.
All right, then recall his client needs to be here tomorrow. Recall it for tomorrow at 9 a.m. His client needs to be here, and let Mr. Stohansky know if his client is not present, then there will be a warrant issued. Who's here on, all right, this case is closed, am I? State on Oscar Sedano Gutierrez. There's a request for a return of property. If you have a chance, is that your case?
I believe that today Jordan Brown is going to appear and they're going to oppose it.
Okay, all right, well, just let Ms. Ferguson know and we'll set it for a hearing. Jonathan Garcia. Okay, yes.
Judge, good morning. I'm here for Ernie Trustfellow. He's in surgery literally right now. So he did file a motion. My understanding is Mr. Sanders received a copy of it. I'm sorry, Judge. I don't believe it's been accepted by the district clerk's office yet, but there's a copy of it. He had a couple of issues outlined in the motion. He's got an expert witness that has some pretty restrictive dates. Ernie he's got a vacation notice on file 26th October through the 7th of November. And then my understanding is he has a sexually set murder kicking off November 8th and the 175th. So it's all detailed in the motion. However, the court wants to.
All right, this is only for, let me see which case this motion for continuance is in. He has several cases. All right. We're gonna go on the record. Court is calling 2019 CR 5690, 5691, 6378, 13884, 2020 CR 3291, 2022 CR 8753. Could I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
Defense.
James Tochi for Mr. Acevedo, Judge.
All right, Mr. Garcia, do you have any objections to Mr. Toshi standing in for your attorney?
No.
All right, the defense has filed a second motion for continuance. State, do you have any objection to the motion?
Judge, we are ready for trial, but we have no objection to this motion.
All right. Defense's motion will be granted. And Mr. Acevedo will just need to subpoena his expert, whoever that will be, and whoever that is. Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date on Garcia, and if you can put it in the file, once you're able to confer with both defense and state on a date.
Judge, I was unaware that he had that many pending cases. I did speak to Ruben, who asked if we would be okay picking up representation. He has a state jail theft, as I understand. I told Ruben that we would. I was unaware of the other cases. I obviously don't know Mr. Garcia's criminal history. So to that end, we would be comfortable doing that. I don't know, but I don't know about the rest of them.
Oh, no,
Or
I
who-
mean, there's a specific case that he's going to trial on. Am I incorrect on that?
The highest charge, yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, we're fine, Judge.
All right. Mariah Rodriguez.
Sir.
Is Mariah Rodriguez on bond? All right, who's here on Mariah Rodriguez? Is that Sonny Middleton? All right, there's a fact. Who's on Mariah Rodriguez?
Is that Nathaniel Navy? Is that a nightmare?
Yeah, Nathaniel Navy is here, so I think he would respond if he were Mariah Rodriguez. Just, yeah, it's 12. Give me another date for her. Miss
I'm sorry.
Mariah Rodriguez.
30 days, you said that?
No, 3 weeks.
I'm confused. I can do November 14th. I don't even know where she's at.
And Mariah Rodriguez is in custody of another county. Okay. Justin Schermerhorn.
Nothing else to this, Mariah Rodriguez.
All right, and is he in custody?
I don't think so. I don't think he showed up at docket.
All right. That will, normally have Miss Efron come back, and that's gonna be via.
Yes, ma'am, she's doing another court, she'll be right back.
Who's here on Jorge Terrazas? Yes, what is happening with this case? Do you have all your discovery?
I believe I do, Judge. I have received an offer from the state. I've asked for one more reset. We're negotiating right now and state would like to talk to them.
But you received the offer?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Ms. Burgess, can I have a plea deadline date on Terrazas for 30 days?
Yes, ma'am, we can do, December 8th.
All right, December 8th is your plea deadline date. After that, the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
Thank you.
Victor Mendoza. Is your client in custody or on bond?
He is in custody.
Mr. Mendoza, come up. Where are we on this case?
We got an offer today. I'd like some time to review it with my client and actually look at pursuing some other defensive theories I'm going to provide to the state.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Mendoza for a plea deadline date?
December 8th.
All right, we'll come back on December 8th. At that time, you need to let me know if you're accepting the state's offer or not.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who's here on Valerie Garza? Come forward. We're gonna be on the record. Court is calling 2022 CR 6338, State of Texas versus Valerie Jo Garza. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
John Young for the defense.
And are you Ms. Garza?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Garza, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, we're waiving the enhancement paragraph.
Any objections?
No objection.
Ms. Garza, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it? Did you sign it? And all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance felony group 1, less than 1 gram? It's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do,
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do,
Ms. Garza, has anyone threatened, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes,
Are you a U.S. citizen?
yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, your sentence is to be assessed at 1 year in a state jail facility. There are no applications. State is taken in consideration the following cases. County Court Cause Number 684-932, 2022 CR 9295, Night Mag number 661528, and 674907. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
yes, Your Honor,
State? Yes. Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? Only items that can be appealed are written pre-trial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
no, Your Honor,
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No problem.
State any evidence
Yes, Judge. Stacy Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
no objection, Your Honor,
showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and to invite any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court is finding there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court is finding you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
yes, Your Honor,
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, my client's been in custody for 106 days, and she requests credit for that time.
All right, the court will sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility. Give you credit for any time served. Taking consideration County Court Cause Number 684-932, 2020 CR 9295, Night Mag number 661528, and 674907. Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Know better, do better.
Yes, thank you.
All right, who's here on Terrence Knowles?
Good morning, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
All right, court is calling 2019 CR 2606, State of Texas versus Terrence Knowles.
Judge,
Yes.
can you say that one more time, Judge, please?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Court is calling 2019 CR 2606, State of Texas versus Torrance Knowles. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Ryan Grimmer for the state.
for the defense?
Kimberly Bush for the defense.
Are you Mr. Knowles?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Torrance Knowles who was placed on community supervision in 2019 CR 2606 for the offense of evading arrest detention with a vehicle on June 30th, 2020 for a term of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Judge. Violated condition number 2, on or about the 14th day of September 2022 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Torrance P.E. Knowles, did then and there consume alcoholic beverages, namely liquor, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True. We waived the other condition, Judge.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 8 years in prison?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there an agreement?
If we have a partial agreement, we have an agreement as to what to do with the motion to adjudicate. We'd have the court deny the motion to adjudicate. However, to alter and amend to have Mr. Knowles do a new tap. The state is recommending IOP as afterwards as one of his conditions, the UA hotline for 75 days and AA meetings. The only condition we're not in this agreement is, I believe, Ms. Bush wants to speak to IOP.
All right. Yes.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I represented Mr. Knowles in the underlying charge he's on probation for, as well as some other matters through the years. So I've gotten to know him fairly well, and I've had an opportunity to discuss with him here the behaviors that led to this. And I do not wish to minimize the significance of him drinking after he's had the advantages of the resources of drug court and other sober interventions. I would just like to point out very quickly to the court that when this case started, he was testing positive for a variety of substances. He has improved greatly through the years. However, misses don't count in most of life.
So you're objecting IOP, that's intensive outpatient treatment?
Right.
All right.
What I would suggest as an alternative, just based on my particular knowledge of this particular client and what he feels are his triggers and what are the more likely to be effective treatment modalities, is instead of IOP, do the sober support 4 times a week. Have him get a sponsor, have the sponsor be willing to affirm to the court that he is interacting with his sponsor appropriately, because I feel, and Mr. Knowles feels, that the opportunity to work one-on-one with someone and really get to the root of the emotional issues underlying impulse control and triggers would be more likely to be a successful treatment modality for him.
Okay. All right, Mr. Knowles, you were on probation. You know you're not supposed to be drinking alcohol, and you were looking at 8 years prison by drinking alcohol, and you chose to drink alcohol knowing that you could go to prison for 8 years. That tells me somebody has a problem. Now, I understand that there are underlying reasons for why people do what they do, but there are still consequences for actions. So I'm going to deny the motion, alternate amend conditions. You're going to take a TAP evaluation while in custody. There's going to be the UA hotline for 75 days. And it's going to be intensive outpatient treatment. If you decide that intensive outpatient treatment is not 100% working for you, then you're going to do the intensive outpatient treatment and you can get into sober meetings on your own.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Mr. Knowles is currently employed. He's actually employed for the same company he worked for back when we pled this case out in 2020. He's moved to a different branch. He lives with his partner. They're raising their 2 kids together. He is needed at home. I'm hoping the court would consider allowing him to do the TAP when he is not in custody. He has not had an issue with failing to appear to this or any other requirements of his probation.
Okay. All right. He's going to do the TAP evaluation while in custody. Is there anything else?
No,
All
Judge.
right. Thank you. All right. Can I see who's here on Lorraine Afra? What's her client? Sherhorn? Where's your client?
I do not know, Judge.
All right. I'm sorry, could I see the file on Sherhorn? I think I gave it back to you.
In a-
All right. Oh, we'll do break. All right, so go ahead and take a break. Sure, you're welcome. Norma, this is gonna have to be called back in the afternoon. She needs a break. Did she says her hand?
I don't think we need to be on the record on this one, do we? Because he's not here anyway.
Have you had any contact with him?
I have, Your Honor, but I have not today. I haven't.
All right, I'll tell you what we'll do with yours. Even though we're all day tomorrow, do you think you'll be able to get in contact with him this week?
I'll try to by Thursday because I'll be in the building, but
All right, so what we'll do is we'll recall this Thursday
okay,
at 9. And if he's not here at 9,
okay.
then,
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate that.
so Norma, on Shermer High, just recall it for Thursday at 9. So that will be the 27th. You want to request a warrant?
Your Honor, she is in Kentucky on a first degree bail jumping held without bond.
Okay,
So I have no idea when we may.
so
see
you're
her.
requesting that a warrant be issued in this case?
Yeah, well, so if she gets out, I don't know if we'll see her back here either.
Well, you'll have to file a motion because I really can't do a bond forfeiture or anything on her because there's a reason why she's not here. She's in custody in another county.
Okay, well, as long as that's okay with you, the other judges always issue a warrant.
Yeah, no.
I'm just,
Yeah, but I mean,
being
I will tell you
forthright to the
this,
court.
she will end up receiving credit for any time that she's in custody.
Oh, even if she's on bond or only if
Yes.
we- okay.
Well, if she's in custody there,
Mhm.
even if she's on bond, I will give. I will
Okay,
give
that's what I
credit.
want to make sure of. Thank you.
You're welcome.
She said-
All right, Norma, you say Aaron Storm.
Yes, if I have to, she's stepping down to get my name, he's here.
Oh, Aaron Storm. When do we want to set this for jury trial? This scheduled for jury trial. It's family violence. Your attorney is in another county, so we're gonna give you a different jury trial date because we're currently in a jury trial. All right, so it's gonna be December 5th. And we're gonna give you a reset form. And your attorney will be informed as well. Thanks for dressing appropriately for court. Who's here? Matthew Salazar?
I think here, I'm here. Cornelius. The office.
All right, and where's your client?
Oh, he's right here, Judge.
All right, so what is happening with this case?
I think it's just here for a regular setting, Judge. So
Well, I mean, an offer was tendered. So I'm gonna give you guys, your next setting is gonna be a plea deadline date.
thank you, Judge.
All right, Ms. Fergus, can I have a 30-day reset for a plea deadline date?
I can't, sorry.
Number 8.
Okay,
That's fine.
Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Who's here on Edward Rigarte?
I am, you're ready on the seat.
You're gonna have to wait on that. Norma, can you see if they are available to do a plea in impact? Who is here on Justin Christie? All right, what is happening with this case?
You know, this was a call from yesterday. My client unfortunately has not been able to appear this morning. I've been able to try to track him down. I know he had a possible work conflict when I spoke to him yesterday when we were in court when he was here, but and he said he would prioritize this, but I've left a couple of messages and
Okay, because we've been here before with him not showing, and it's been recalled.
that's correct, Judge. Yes, but I'd ask that again that you would give me a couple of days to try to track him down and bring him in.
All right, I'll give you till Thursday.
Thank you, Judge.
So we're gonna come back on Thursday. Norma? They are, okay, Justin Christie is coming back on Thursday.
Thank you. May I be excused, Your Honor?
You're excused.
Thank you. Enjoy your afternoon.
Thank you. And Norma? Deputy Laura? Can you have, you just have Hillary Steinman? If we can bring that back at, you can do that during a break. Hillary Steinman, that's a plea. And also Edward Ugarte.
All right, and then, Norma, we'll just take our break.